Hello everybody and welcome back. Today's video is going to be Wagon Tracks quilt block, and for that you're going to need 3 different fabrics. The first one, fabric A, you're going to need 10 2-inch squares and 2 4-inch squares. B, you're going to need 2 4-inch squares, and C, you're going to need 10 2-inch squares. So we're going to turn these two, our 2 4-inch squares, I've already done some, but we're going to turn these into half square triangles. So we're just going to lay that up there for a minute. And I'm going to take this and lay them on top of each other. Now you don't have to do this step yet. You could draw the line first, but it's here, so I'm going to use this, but you could use any ruler. On this one, I just line up my yellow line corner to corner, and I draw a line down either side of it. And I'm going to lean my pin in there so it goes in as easy as possible, or as far as possible. Now, there's several ways you could do this, and maybe I'll do a video showing them all. So you could do it just like that, like I did. I'm going to put a pin in there. Or you could take just your regular square and lay now this one's not long enough, but well, I'll show you. You could take your regular square and line it up with the 1/4 inch line corner to corner, and see, that's going to give you the same space there, the same line. So you draw it there, then you'd spin it around and you would draw it on the other side, do the exact same thing. Now you could also just lay this on the corner and draw one line down the middle, and then draw a 1/4 inch, or sew a 1/4 inch seam on either side. I've tried them all. I encourage you to too. This is my favorite method right now. So this is what I'm going to do. But again, do it however you like it. Try them all. It really is in your best interest to try them all. So I'm going to line these up, sort of. We'll start over. Now our other ones we're going to turn into 4 patches. So I've done all the others. Here's one of them because I left some to do with you. So we're just going to fold those together, right sides together, and we're going to sew those. So I'm just going to take that. I'm going to do that one first actually, because we're going to cut it off and then we'll pin it to this one to do that. So we're just doing block after block. So I'm going to sew this. I'm going to sew one side of this, and then we're going to come back over here and iron it and pin this, and then we'll do the other parts. And we're just doing a 1/4 inch seam. Now when I sew this, I'm going to sew just a hair on the inside of the line there. See, I don't know if you can see it, but my needle is going down just on the left side of the, oh, sorry about that, just on the left side of the line. So we're just going to sew this side down. Now we're going to cut the other one off and iron it open. Iron it to the yellow side. Let's move those. We're done with them. And now we're going to, I've ironed them all to the yellow, so now we're just going to lay them like that, fold it over, and we're going to pin that, and we'll sew this down 1/4 inch. Just going to pin at the seam because it kind of holds it in place anyway. So now we'll sew this one, and we'll sew the other side of the half square triangle. And then we will trim them all up. Well, we'll iron them open and then we'll trim them all up. Let's cut that off. And then we'll do this one. Again, just a hair on the left side of the pin mark. grab grab those and get it done. Just cutting them apart there. So we're gonna, I found that if I iron this before I cut it, it lays flatter. I don't know if it really is, but that's how it has been going for me. So we're gonna trim this, but we're gonna do this one first. So I'm gonna lay this down, and I'm just gonna cut it now, corner to corner. Oh, it slid on me. Just a little, it's no big deal. Now we're gonna iron these open to my green fabric side. Alright, now we're gonna trim them all down to 3.5 inch squares. Let's do this one first. To do that, you're going to line up the halfway point, which is the 1 3/4 little, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little point right there at 1 3/4. I'm going to line that up right there in the middle, and that lines up my yellow lines there and there, and then you just have to do your black marks on your inches on the other lines. So we're going to do the side and the top there, flip it around, and we're going to do the other ones. But now we're going to do the same thing, but also you can line up your 3.5 inch point down here, and that line going both ways, and then everything will be perfect. Well, it slid on me. Give me a minute. Alright, so now we've got 5 of those. We'll have 4 patches. Now these we've done before. We're going to line up the diagonal as close to this edge as possible, these two. So we still have enough to cut off on the other side. So we'll spin it around, and same thing, line up the diagonal, and now we're going to line up the 3.5 inch point in both lines, and we'll slice that off, and we got one more. And we're going to line up the diagonal, spin it around, the diagonal and the 3.5 inch point. And honestly, if you line up 2, the other 2 should already be lined up. Alright, let's get rid of these. Now we'll have 4 of those. So now let's lay it out. We are going to have our 4 patches going down the middle and on the end. So they're all going to have the same orientation. So it's sort of like railroad tracks, but it's, I think on railroad tracks they lay like this. I could be wrong. Don't quote me. And then our half square triangles we're going to lay with the white, the matching fabric is going to go on the inside. Just like that. So now we're just going to sew them together, and I'm just going to grab from the sewing machine these two, and then we'll cut them off and we'll do these. And then we'll come back over, iron it open, see what it looks like. So I'm just going to grab these 2. We'll head over. And I'm not going to pin these, they're pretty small. I trimmed them up, they should fit perfectly. And if they don't, well, they don't. Make sure my seams go the way they're supposed to. Grab the next 2. Take your time lining it up. It's best to take a little extra time now than have to take extra time at ripping it out. And the last two on this side. Alright, now we're just gonna cut it off at the beginning and sew the next 4 patch to this one. Next one, we're going to open the half square triangles on the end. So you're never actually going to sew the same blocks together. It's going to be opposite blocks. Excuse me. So that's how you'll know which block goes where, but make sure you're paying attention to which way it's laying also. Alright, we're going to do the last one. Now we'll cut them off and see what we've got. So we're going to iron them to the half square triangle. No, we're not. We're going to iron them to the 4 patches. Alright. I like it so far. I love this fabric. Now we're going to fold them together. Make sure you have them laying right. The yellow pieces are all going the same, or the 4 patches all going the same way. The half square triangles, the white's in the middle. So let's just fold this down. Pin it at the seams. In the end. This is a 9-inch block. I don't know if I mentioned that. It's going to be a 9-inch block. We're going to pin this one at the beginning because we're going to fold this up, fold that up, and fold this one up, and then flip it and pin it. At the seams and at the end. It helps to trim each individual block as you go, because then they're all the same size at this point. They should just flow right together. Alright, now I'm just going to hold that one. We're going to head over and sew it. So I didn't say it, but I should have. Sorry about that. See how this is my other block? I have it folded out, or the top row, so you make sure you don't hit that when you're sewing. Otherwise, you're going to have to rip it out and redo it. And nobody wants that. My ender there. Flip it around and do the other side. So I wasn't sure when I was picking out which fabrics to do this block in, but I think I like it. Let me know what you all think. Let's go over and see what we've got. So I'm not sure how I did it, but this one's a little extra here, but it is lined up here, so it's no big deal. I'll just trim it off. I just don't know. It's odd that I did it because, well, you know, because maybe my seam wasn't as big as it should have been. I don't know. But anyways, there it is. It is called Wagon Tracks. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you make it and love it, and I will see y'all next time. Have a great day.